to the awesome stream of learning C#. First of all, I really appreciate all of your supports, all of the comments, all of the feedback that you have given me. So again, shout out to Pritz, to Dr. Drark, and also to Belsen for supporting me in this. And also, I want to set a goal. I want to get at least 10 subs until the end of the week. I know it sounds very stupid and very low, but I want to get it. I just want to get a little bit of traction. And if that happens and if I actually get the subs up, I will improve the quality. I will buy professional gear. I will make the better quality videos, and I will do whatever I want. And again, thank you for the support. Yeah, as I promised, today I'm going to upload the video, and I'm actually going to write the first program, and we are going to do it together. I'm thinking to put also before I start that, I'm thinking also to put a schedule so that I stream on a specific hour every day, and by doing that I can also interact with you a little bit better. I can actually see the chats in Twitch and answer your questions as I go on, and to make the qualities of the videos better. In order to do that, I need to get more subs. I need people to start watching my stream. So please help me to get this going, to make the qualities of the video better. So, as I promised, I'm going to try to write a program. If you haven't watched my previous videos, please do. And also, if you have no basic knowledge of the programming languages, I uploaded a video talking about variables, about CPU, RAM, and how everything works. That should help you a lot. And if it's still not enough, please tell me. I will upload another video. I will explain everything that needs to be explained. Don't worry, just tell me what I need to do and I will do it. I'm going to start with the basic programs that everybody who's starting to write programming will start with those. I am going to write a very small program right now, which it will basically do this. I will take two inputs from the user, multiply them, and print out the result. So in order to do that, I first will have to define two variables. I am going to define them with int, input 1, and input 2. Then I'm going to actually put the values inside of them. That going to be read from the console. Dot read line. I'm going to read line, and also input 2 dot equals console dot read line. So, as you can see, I have errors here. The reason is that here you can see it that. Actually, in the last line, it's written cannot implicitly. Okay, I cannot show you. Cannot implicitly convert type string to int. So if you have seen, if you know about variables, you know that you cannot just put different types of variable into each other. If not, go watch the video. I explain about this explicitly in there. So what can we do here? First of all, the answer of this function is string. So I need to convert that into int. How can I do that? Actually, very easily. I just write int here. What will happen right now is it's trying to convert. Does the casting not work like this anymore? Okay, it seems that the casting doesn't work. So how can I cast the type then? If the casting doesn't work like this, does it work like this maybe? Yeah, well, technical difficulties it seems. This doesn't work. But it should work actually. Wait, I'm gonna search this to see how I can change data types. Change string to int C#. Okay. Okay, so we have actually functions, to decimal, to single, to double. Okay, fantastic. Yeah, then let's use this in order to convert. So the actual command is here. You can see convert dot to int and then we say the string. Okay, fantastic. So then I'm going to actually write it, convert that to int. We are going to work with integers for ourselves right now. I'm going to assume the number written. Okay, let's do it actually as, yeah. And I wanted to do it as double, but doesn't matter. I just want, it's a proof of concept. Then we have again to int, and here we go. Now it should be alright, and we should have no other errors. Yeah, it seems to be working. Now I want to print out the answer. So I say console. Come on, why it's not working? Am I writing the console wrong? Console, it should be working. What's my problem? Console, okay, dot write line, and the answer of the sum is console dot write line. And now the answer, so input 1 plus input 2. This should work. Let's try this out. We have 1, we have 3, the answer is 4. It closed, if you remember, we have to write this at the end so that it doesn't close. Console.read key. And now if I write 2 and 6, it works. Now what happens, let's see, if I write 3.1 and there is the problem that right now, because I didn't write it as an integer, I get an error. For you to know, we have two types of errors. We have runtime errors and we have syntax errors. Syntax error is actually what I did before, is when I tried to write something which the compiler doesn't understand. When I wrote input 1 equals int and then opened up this and wrote console that reads line, okay, this was actually a syntax error, because the syntax, the things that I wrote here, is not understood by the compiler. But right now I have no error in the syntax. The syntax works perfectly. But when I run it, and then there is an error because of data type conversations like that I have right now. I try to change a float number into an int number, which doesn't work. Then I get runtime errors. There are methods to prevent runtime errors that will be covered in the next videos. Right now I am going to move on actually to the next program that I want to write, which is going to be a little bit more difficult. And for that I need to learn something new. Actually, I need to learn loops. The thing is that, imagine I want to write this program that I give the number of students, and then I have to give the mark of the students, and at the end the program tells me how many students, what's the average of all of the students marks that I gave. In order to do that, I need to learn about for loops. Okay, so let's go to C#. And let's go into here we have, it has type conversations here. It has also this included. Okay, fantastic. So yeah, we saw this. We have to Boolean, to byte, to char, to datetime, to decimal, to int, to everything. Okay, great. So let's go to loops. Okay, to understand the loop, you need to remember what I mentioned also in the other video, is that the compiler starts from one line, goes to the next, and starts just reading the lines until the end. A loop is basically telling the compiler that a block of the code should be done more than one time. You should do everything that is in there more than once. So it's worked like this. It starts here, does everything that's here, then it comes to the condition. Okay? It checks if the condition is true, and when it's true, it will start do the loop again. And when the condition is false, it will just go out. Now, in order to understand what condition is, we have to start learning this a little bit. What is a condition? A condition is again like this, that I have a block. First there's a condition. If the condition is true, this part of the block will be executed. If the condition is false, another block will be executed, or it will just come out. How can I do this? I can do this with the if statement. So, what is the if statement? Is that an if statement consists of the Boolean expression. Okay, fantastic. So, what is a Boolean expression? Now, in order to understand what the Boolean expression is, we need to learn a little bit about operators. We have different operators. I will not go into the arithmetic operators because you should know that, and you should know what it is. Plus, minus, multiplying, dividing. Dividing with a reminder, it tells me after an integer division, it tells me how much the remainder of the division is, and this plus plus means that increment operator increases integer value by 1. Okay, so if I have a which has the value of 10, and I write the plus plus, it will be 11. Okay, and minus is -1. But here is the important part. Okay, here's the part of the conditions that give that are Boolean conditions. Okay, equal is the operator that shows me that two values on two sides are equal. If they are equal, it means that the answer of this operation will be true. If it is not equal, it will be false. Here, A is 10, B is 20. So A equals B is not true because they are not equal. This means they are not equal. Check if they are not equal. And if they are not equal, the answer will be true. So here I have A equals not B. The answer is true, as a matter of fact, because A is 10 and B is 20, so they are not equal. Then we have greater, which works with integer and floats and this kind of stuff. We have less, we have greater equal, we have less equal, which should be self-explanatory by now. So what I should write right now is that I'm going to start with the smaller example. I just want to ask the user a question. I'm going to ask the user, how are you? If are you good today? I'm going to ask the user, are you good today? If their answer yes, I will answer fantastic. If their answer no, I want to say, oh, too bad. Okay? So let's see, is if written here? No. Yeah, if was in the decision making. Let's see how the if looks like. Do we have an no, we do not have an example here. Does this work as an example? Oh yeah, this works. Okay. So if we open this eyebrow, as I explained why I'm calling this eyebrow, and then this statement will be executed if the condition is true. Okay, let's start. So I will leave the read key at the very end of it. I will say string, because the answer string. Actually, I'm going to do that with the read key. So I say if console.readKey, Oh no, I want to first print my question. So I write console.writeLine, are you well today? Yes or no? Then, now I want to check if the user pressed yes or the user pressed no. So I write if console.readKey, okay, equal. So what should I check right now? How can I check? Oh, I need to open here parentheses. Okay. So how can I check what key was pressed? Let's see. The answer of this function, let's see what it is. The answer of this function, it doesn't tell me. It tells me. It's console key info. Okay, so that's the answer of this function. Now I need to check what key is stored in this class console key info. So I probably can answer console key info. That's the data type. Okay. Let's see. How can I check? Maybe it's console key. Let's see. Dot. Oh, yeah, fantastic. Yeah. So console read key, that's the answer of the function, dot key. Actually, it tells me which key was pressed, and it is console key info key. Okay, fantastic. And here I have char, which is the character, of the button press. That's much better for us because I want to say that the console.readKey.key char, that should equal y. That means, this condition means that if the key that has been pressed in the console has the character value of y, then this block will be executed. So what should I write here? I should write console.writeLine fantastic. Okay, let's run this. Let's see if this works. Okay, if I press any other button, I pressed H, nothing happens. But if I press Y, the answer is fantastic. It works. It has just a problem that it's starting at the same line. In order to solve that, I can actually just write this. Okay, this should be the enter character for strings in C, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that works. Okay, so whenever you want to have an enter printed into the console, just write this character. This means enter, go to the next line. Okay, so now if the user answers no, I want to print, oh, too bad. So I will have two possibilities, because here I have if else. Okay, I have if else. So if the statement is true, statements will be executed. If the Boolean expression is true, statements will be executed if the Boolean expression is false. Okay, but before I go to the if, I have a question. Will this work or not? That read key dot keychar equals n, and then here I write console.writeLine. Oh, I've made a mistake there. Oh, too bad. Okay, what do you think? Keychar. Do you think this code will work or not? It should work, right? Let's see. I press F5. Now I press N. Nothing happens. But it should write, oh, too bad. I press N again. Now it says, oh, too bad. Wait, what? Okay, let's run it again. If I press yes, it says fantastic. If I press N, it says, oh, too bad. Okay. Now I press N, nothing. And I press Y, nothing. Okay, I press N 2 times, and nothing. N, oh, too bad. What might be the problem? Think about it before you look the answer. But the answer is that this is what the computer does. First, it goes into this function, because this is the starting function. It writes the line, are you well today? It goes to this line. This line, this function will be executed. It means that I'm going to wait for a key. Then, when the user has pressed the key, it will tell what the character of the key is, and then it will compare it to Y. If it is equal to Y, it will go in here. If not, it will just jump out of this block. It will completely ignore this block and come here. Now, what happens here? Here again, it's going to wait for a key to be pressed, convert it to the character, compare it to N. If it is the same, it will go in here. So, if I right now press N, it will compare to Y, because it's not the same. It will ignore this block and wait again for my input. And now, if I press N again, it will see that it is equal to N indeed, and it will print, oh, too bad. But if I press Y right now, one time, it will say fantastic. If I press Y again, it will say nothing, because in the second time, it was not equal to N. Okay? So, how can I fix this? How can I fix this? Actually, I have two possibilities. Okay? I'm going to give you a hint. One possibility is with a variable. The other possibility I haven't worked on yet. It's with the if-else statement. But think if you can figure out how you can solve this problem with a variable. Think hard. Try to solve this. Okay, the solution to the variable is that I define here a variable. This is a char. Okay, the answer of this is a char. You can see it here. Char console key info dot key char. The first char means that's the type of the return value. Means that that's the answer. And the other one is what the class name is. Okay, so I write char equals console.readKey.keyChar. Here, oh sorry, I have to define a name like key pressed. Okay. This line, if you don't know what it means, it's exactly the same as if I write it like this. Key pressed. This means that define pressed, reserve the RAM, and then copy whatever value you see on this side to this side. But I can just write it in one line, and I can just write it like this. There's no difference between these two. So what I do here now is this. I will put this here, and I will put this here. Now if I run it, I say yes, fantastic, and it will close. If I say no, oh too bad, and then close. If I write anything else, nothing happens. So think about it. Why does this work? Why does this work? I'm a computer. I start. I write, are you well today? I execute this function, read key. I get the result. I convert it to the character. I put it into the memory, key pressed. Now, I access the memory key pressed, but the function will not be executed because it's just a part of a memory. It's just a value that has been stored into the RAM. I compare it to Y. If it is the same, this will be executed. If it's not the same, it will be ignored. So if I press no here, this line, when it's executed, it's not equal to N. so it will just go here. And it is indeed equal n, so oh, too bad will be written as the answer. Okay, great, fantastic. So this is solution number 1. Solution number 2 is, instead of writing it like this, I write here else. Okay, now what does this else do? Else is that if the condition is true, this will be executed. If not, this. Okay, so as you can see, it's also very good in the diagram. Condition will be checked. If true, if part will be executed, the if block will be executed. If false, the else code will be executed. Okay, so now let's try. Let's see if you can be the computer. If I run this program and I press H, what do you think will happen? Do you think fantastic will be written? Do you think oh too bad will be written? Or do you think nothing will be written? Okay, think about it. Now let's test it. I press H, oh too bad. Okay, why? Why was oh too bad written right now? If you have paid attention, the else block will be executed when the condition was not true. If I press H, is this condition true? No! So this code will be executed. Okay? No matter what key I press, doesn't matter if it is yes or no. But if I press yes, of course, because the condition is true, fantastic will be written. Okay? So else doesn't care what it is. It just is, if this is not true, that part will be executed. But this is not what I want. This is not what I want. I want to see, and if I didn't press yes, I want to check if N was pressed. I mean no was pressed. So I can also use this, of course. I have else if. It is exactly like above. If this one is not true, then I'm going to check this condition. If the condition is true, this part will be executed. If not, it will just go out. So I can write here, key pressed equals equals N. Okay, so if I execute this, I say yes, fantastic. I say no, oh too bad. I say nothing, nothing happens. Yay, it's working. Now imagine I want to add another answer. I want to add the answer I don't understand. Okay, so think about it. What should I write here? If you understood everything completely, you should come up with the answer that right now you should write else. Okay, because it doesn't matter whatever the answer is. If it is not yes, and if it's not no, then I should write this. Console.writeLine /n for the enter, and I'm sorry, I don't understand. Okay, I do apologize for my mistakes here. Okay, now let's check it. Oh, yeah, semicolon expected. Yeah, okay, it's not bad to see. Actually, when I try to press F5, this comes up. Who can tell me what type of error this is? Is it runtime error or syntax error? Of course, this is syntax error, because I couldn't even run the program. So, the syntax error that's listed here, it's semicolon expected, which means I have to put a semicolon at the end of it. Okay, let's start this bad boy. Yes, fantastic. Okay, no, oh, too bad. And anything random? I'm sorry, I don't understand. Yay, that's the first program that we have written. That's great. Now, I still don't want to go into the program that I told you about getting the arithmetic average of the numbers of the marks of the students, because that requires a new lesson. I will leave that for the next video that I'm going to make. But let's try to write another program, okay, with the if condition. Okay, for example, I want to write the program that I am going to give two numbers inside of them. I want to check if the numbers are divisible by each other or not. So, for example, if I give 12 and 2, the answer should be yes. If I give 12 and 5, the answer should be no. Okay? So, I'm sorry. You should try to write this too, actually. Console.writeLine. Write the first number. Okay? Then, semicolon. I always forget the semicolon. Then, I should get the answer. And do you think I need to store it in a variable or not? Of course I do. I need to store whatever the first input is into a variable, because otherwise I have no idea what the value is, and the value just gets lost. So I just write int. I'm going to assume that the numbers are int actually. Int input 1 equals console dot console, come on, console, work. Console dot read line, and then, oh, that's a problem again. The answer is string, cannot implicitly convert string to int. What was the solution? Convert that to int 32. That's the solution. Of course, it's not going to work right now because I have to write it uppercase. This is actually why I don't like C#. Okay, with Visual Basic, you don't have to do this. The uppercase and lowercase, it's completely irrelevant. And I'm so used to Visual Basic that I just forget to write the uppercases and lower cases. Okay, then I should write console dot writeLine. Write the second number. Okay. Okay, and I get it and store it into another input. Convert the 2 in 32 console dot read line. Okay. Now, of course, this is a condition to see if they are dividable or not. Okay, but what should I write in the condition itself? Again, if you look at the operators, we have different operators. Okay, we had arithmetic operator. That's divide by the denominator. Okay, that's divide by the denominator. But this percentage sign is modulus operator and reminder of after an integer division. So, if the remainder is 0, that means that those two numbers were divisible. If the remainder is not 0, okay, this means that they were not divisible. Okay, so I'm sorry, my phone was ringing. So let's check. Okay, let's check. I say if input 1 divided by input, come on, shut up, divided by input to the remainder, okay, equals 0. Okay, so what's the problem here? Okay, the error doesn't help us very much. It says the left-hand side of an assignment must be a variable, property, or indexer. What does it mean? What does it mean? Yes, I know that in a normal operation, the left-hand side should only be a variable, okay? Because I'm going to copy this value into a variable. So on this side, I cannot write this, for example. This will not work, okay? You see, it doesn't work. Or even if I write it like this, input plus 1 is input 2, okay? What does, or is input 1, okay? What does this line even mean? You see, I get the same error. The left-hand side of an assignment must be a variable, property, or indexer. This line has no meaning for the compiler, because I'm trying to copy this value, whatever it is on this side, into a variable. Here it should be a variable, but this is definitely not a variable. Here's an operator between it. But why do I get the same error here? The reason is very stupid, but it happens even to the best programmers, that you need to write two equal signs. One equal sign means for the compiler, copy one side to the other side. Two equal signs means see if both sides are equal. If they are, say true. If they aren't, say no. If you are really paying attention, you might notice that operator is basically like a function. But instead of having one input, it has two inputs, and the answer depends on what the inputs are. For the two equal signs, if I want to see it as a function, it just takes in two values. If they're the same, it returns true as a Boolean, or it returns false as a Boolean again. Okay? And plus can also be seen as a function because it takes two values, it adds them together, and it returns them. So everything actually can be categorized into function. Every operator can be categorized as a function. So the condition is if this is 0, which basically means that these are dividable, then I'm going to write console.writeLine, they are dividable. I'm not so sure if I'm writing this correctly. Should I write here else or else if? Who knows? Should I write else or else if? Of course I should write else, because it doesn't matter what the next condition is. I don't have to check any other condition. If the condition is not met, I should write these are not dividable. It doesn't matter if the answer is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or whatever. It doesn't matter. So I just write else console, oh come on, please work, console that for whoever is wondering, what I do after I write console and the dot doesn't show up the new list, I just press control space. And control space is actually for completing the words that I'm writing or showing up the list if it doesn't work, okay? Console, right now, the dot doesn't work, whatever I do. I just press control space, then then this list shows up, then when I press dot, then it works, okay? Dot writeLine, they are not dividable, okay? They're not dividable, okay? The remainder is, okay? So, how can I write the remainder now? Okay, how can I write the remainder now? Now, I have again two possibilities. One possibility is that I just say console.writeLine, and I actually divide them again, but you should know by now, okay, that this is not a very elegant solution. Okay, the better way would have been that I define here a variable, okay, int remainder, and I let it be equal to that. Okay, now I don't check this operation, I just check the remainder and I write it like this. Let's check it out. I write 12, I write 3. Okay, of course I forgot to write console.read key so that the screen doesn't go away. 12, 3, they are dividable, fantastic. 12, 5, they're not dividable. The remainder is 2. Yes, it works, fantastic. Okay, so this was the first block. This was the first exercise of the if condition block. Okay, now imagine I want to write another program. Okay, again, it's a very simple program. Okay, I want to write to check if the number is negative. If the number is negative, it should tell me if it is negative. If it is 0, because 0 is neither negative nor positive, it should say 0, doesn't work. And if it is positive, it should tell me it is positive. Okay, how should we do it? If you think about it, it should be very easy. Okay, I just need one number, I don't need two numbers. Okay, the condition is going to be, of course, if input 1 equals 1, I should write neither negative nor positive. Okay. Then I write here else or else if. What do you think? What do you think? Of course the answer is else if, because I have to check another condition. Else if input 1 greater equal than greater 0, not greater equal, because we checked the equal above there. Then I should write what? I should write it is positive, and else or else if. Else or else if. Doesn't matter. In here it doesn't matter, because I checked 0, I checked greater, so no matter what, the answer here is going to be less. It's going to be negative. Okay, so I don't have to actually write a condition here. Okay, but I personally prefer to write the condition, because it will make the debugging a little bit easier. Whenever imagine you're having 1,000 lines of code and there is a lot of conditions in there. And if you have a very huge if on the top of it, a very huge else at the bottom of it, if you don't write it, it can be a little bit confusing for readability. So I myself just write the condition, but it's completely a personal preference. And I am going to write here negative, of course. Negative. Okay, let's see. I write 5. Positive, fantastic. I write 0, neither negative nor positive. I write -1, negative. It works. Yay! I was a little bit worried that it may not work, because I had defined it here as integer, and integers might not be positive or negative. But if you look here, it says represents a 32-bit signed integer. Signed integer means it can be positive and negative. It doesn't matter. If it can store both values. So this also works. Fantastic. Great. So right now, what we have learned, to make a review, we learned a little bit advanced manipulation, advanced data manipulation, how we can copy-paste the values of different variables into each other. We wanted, with the goal, to write a for loop. Okay, to have many iterations of the same block. We needed to learn before that the conditions. With the conditions, we could write if blocks. In the if blocks, it was like this: if the condition is true, the if part will be executed. If it's not, the else part will be executed. If there is an else if, I will check the first condition. If it's true, then it will go. Oh, by the way, if there's an overlap on condition, if there's an overlap of conditions, for example, I write this, okay, sorry, backwards. If I write it like this, okay, do you think both of these will be executed or just one of them? Okay, that's actually a very important part. If I press 0, just one of them will be executed, which means that if the condition is true, this will be executed, then everything else will be ignored and will come here. So if I even write here true, okay, true means that no matter what it is, this part of the code will be executed, okay? So even if I write true, if I write 0, nothing will happen, that will not be executed, okay? And even if I write -1, then it will be executed because it didn't matter. But if I write here true, and I write here input smaller 0, and I get part of it, you can see here, it's unreachable code detected. It automatically knows it. Because the condition is always true, this part will never actually be executed. Okay, this is completely redundant because it will just execute this block and it will come out. Okay, anyway, so we learned about if blocks, we learned how we can, we also learned about operations, we learned about arithmetic operations and about conditional operations. Okay, yeah, this is the summary of what we learned today. If I went too fast, if you didn't understand any parts of it, please leave your comments. I will upload the Q&A pertinent to this, and I will explain about the parts that were not misunderstood. Again, please don't forget 10 subs until the weekend. That's the goal. Please share it, Twitter it, Google Plus it, YouTube, whatever. Just do it until I get to 10 subs. Greatly appreciated it. Again, I'm going to shout out Belcent, Dr. Dark, and Pritz for supporting me up to now, for giving me awesome feedback. Thank you very much. And please subscribe and like the video. And yes, I wish you a very pleasant day. And the channel of Puccini says goodbye to you. See you later.